So these loitering, no life, low lifers have been screaming, shouting, and getting disruptive right there in that spot for the last 3 hours now. They seem to live on the sidewalk. Maybe they should be charged rent for that corner right there, directly below my windows. And they like to blast music from those 2 or 3 cars that you see that are always directly parked right underneath my windows. I mean, it's not just my windows, it's, all windows that are directly below my windows. These loiterers, no life, low life loiterers, just seem to have a tremendous amount of free time to spend shouting and screaming on that sidewalk. Sometimes they get disruptive to the point where, like, the police show up, but right now it's the fire department for some reason. Now they're a little more quiet, but for the last 3 hours, they've been literally blasting music from these vehicles right here, which disrupts the entire neighborhood. Interestingly enough, I just got a notice from the Greenville group that seems to have been sent out to all of the tenants in the building saying that there's been a lot of complaints from the neighborhood recently about weird activities from some of the tenants. I mean, I'm not one of the ones who stands on the street corner blasting music and screaming and shouting for hours every day. That would be these asswipes down there. Oh, sorry, idiots. And because the Greenville group likes to blame me for every single thing that goes wrong in this building complex, apparently, even though I usually am out of the building for 12 to 14 hours every day, or then when I am in the building, I don't leave my unit. I literally just stay in my unit unless I have to go down the hall to get some clean water or wash my hands because the water to my own tap stinks and is oily, thick, slimy, greasy, and unsafe. I don't really leave my unit when I'm in the building. I don't go hang out in the parking lot, blast music from the street corners, scream and shout on the sidewalk, hang out in the doorways and block access for other tenants. That would be these idiots down there. They've been literally screaming and shouting in that spot since I woke up at around noon. Today's Saturday, October 26, 2024. And again, the Greenville group just seems to have sent out a notice to all the tenants, not just me, because it is addressed to all tenants, saying that there have been a lot of complaints recently from the neighborhood. So that's not me, right? You don't see me down there screaming and shouting and blasting music from these vehicles or calling the fire department. I'm not sure why they're over there. Maybe they shouldn't rent to no life, low life weirdos, right? Maybe they should rent to teachers and police officers and accountants and nurses and retail workers, people who have jobs, people who have responsibilities, instead of the Department of Mental Health inmates that they're housing in large numbers, verifiably. That would be a few of those down there, I'm assuming, since they're always on that sidewalk. Even in the middle of a weekday on a, sunny afternoon, they just stand right there on that spot right there. Or sometimes on that corner over there, sometimes they block access to the office of the Greenville group's business space, which is illegal. You can't block access to a business. But these loiterers have nothing else to do. And they also like to harass women because they have dysfunctional behavioral patterns towards women. A lot of them are sex offenders, verifiably, but because they are in the care of the Department of Mental Health, they are not listed in the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry because apparently the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry does not list sex offenders who are criminally insane and not able to be held responsible for their behavior. I guess that would be some of these idiots down there. Looks like fun. So while I'm up here cleaning, sweeping, washing dishes, taking out recycling, rinsing out recycling, cleaning up my bathroom, reorganizing my kitchen area, these guys down here are just shouting out on the street corner and have been disrupting the neighborhood for the last 3 hours by blasting music from the vehicles that you see them standing directly in front of. They have stopped because, again, that fire truck showed up and then they suddenly got really quiet down there. And because the Greenville Group holds me directly responsible for everything that goes wrong in their building complex, then this must have something to do with me. Wow, I must be God. I just magically conjured a fire truck that I had no idea was even here until I heard it. I magically conjured these idiots screaming and shouting and blasting music for the last 3 hours. I am God, according to the Greenville Group, because if I am directly responsible for all of the chaos, dysfunction, and psychosis of all of their tenants, then that must mean that I am God. By holding me directly responsible for all of their verifiable dysfunction and insolvency, and the dysfunction and mental and behavioral insolvency of the vast majority of their male sex offender DMH inmate tenants, the Greenville Group has made me God. And I am joking, but that is what they're basically saying, is if I'm responsible for everything, then, I must be God, because only God can control all of this and be responsible for every single thing that happens around here, right? I just don't know what the deal is with these perving, creeping idiots just constantly hanging out right there, directly below my windows. It's weird. Don't they have anywhere else to go? I guess not. Okay, so yeah, it's exactly 3 p.m. as I predicted. I have like this ability to guesstimate like the time of day, and I'm almost always right. It's like I have this weird internal clock that doesn't really deviate much from the actual time. I said it was around 3. I haven't looked at the clock in probably about 45 minutes, and it's exactly 3 p.m. So yeah, I'm trying to fill a glass, wash some dishes, and the water is thick, oily, slimy. It has this oil in it, like it's literally just greasy. And so this glass, even though I just scrubbed it with soap, is now so oily that I just have to let the water run, because I have no other way of rinsing this glass other than taking it down the hall to the common bathroom. So I'm actually also trying to rinse out this spoon right here, and the spoon is super oily. So let's just go down the hall to the common bathroom and see if that water is oily and slimy and unusable, because the Greenville Group's resident psychopath, a sex offender, cyber criminal, and surveillance expert, according to her handlers at the Greenville Group named Jasmine Irizarry, claims to be able to access the water supply and contaminate it. She has admitted to doing this, thinking that it's a good thing, apparently. Maybe she thinks it's legal. I mean, when people admit to doing illegal things, maybe they don't know that these things are illegal, right? Maybe they think it's perfectly okay to contaminate the water. Yeah, so this water is fine. Yeah, I'm able to rinse off the spoon. It's not oily, it's not thick or slimy. The spoon is being rinsed off right now, and it feels clean and not oily or covered with thick slime. So this water is fine. Okay, so I guess I'll just have to wash my dishes in the sink of the common bathroom once again. And apparently there's a trash problem in the building. I'm not keeping trash outside of my door. This guy actually took his trash out, but he did have a bunch of trash bags lying outside his door for the last 3 days. Same set of trash bags. I mean, sometimes I do the same thing, but I also have a hard time walking down the stairs. I do not see, and walking down the stairs holding trash bags or any kind of bags prevents me from holding onto the railing of the rear stairwell. The front stairwell has no railing. So there's no railing on the front stairwell, and if you're legally blind, as I am, you cannot use the front stairwell. So check this out. Okay, do you see stairs? I don't see stairs. I see a big black space. I don't know where the stairs are. Oh, somebody's slamming things around down there. So I don't see the stairs, and there's no railing. Do you see a railing here? I don't see a railing. There's nothing to hold on to. This is not a railing. If you fall, there's nothing to grab onto. This is literally like a flat board. There's no railing here. Do you see that? This is not a railing, it's a molding. So if you fall and you need to hold on to something, you're not going to be able to grab onto anything. 3 years ago, I had asked the Greenville Group to place a railing and some colored tape on the edges of the stairs so that I could go down the front stairs, and they refused. So I can't take out my trash on a regular basis because of this. they refused to provide a reasonable accommodation for my severe visual disability, which is 5 times past the legal limit for being blind, legally blind. And so I can't take my trash out unless I use the rear stairwell, which does have a railing that you can hold on to. Okay, so there is a railing here, but then I have to hang on to it with one hand. So if I fall, I can actually hang on to this, right? This is why I take the rear stairwell all the time. But then I have to carry my trash bags with my right hand. And usually I'm carrying 2 or 3 trash bags at a time. It's hazardous. So I do have a legitimate excuse for not being able to take out my trash all the time, or having to take it out one small bag at a time. But most of the other people in this building are not legally blind, as far as I know. They may be mentally disturbed and a bunch of compulsively masturbating sex offenders who can't leave women alone. But as far as I can tell, they're not blind. They can actually walk down the front stairs carrying bags of trash. Someone's getting agitated below. Not sure what the deal is. It's always the violent career thug in 76 who likes to slam things around and bang things against the ceiling of his unit, which is my floor, just general behavioral dysregulation, as you would expect from someone who is in the care of the Department of Mental Health, as people have verified about not just the creep in 88 directly next door, but the violent thug directly below in 76. And Jasmine Irizarry, the psychopath who keeps accessing the permanently vacant, unrented premises of her former unit, located directly behind the wall of this bathroom right here. Unit 78 is located directly behind this wall, and that is where somebody likes to repeatedly make a lot of banging and slamming noises against the wall of my shower stall and against this wall right here behind my toilet when I try to use this toilet quietly, usually late at night, early in the morning. And then she sits in that bathroom that is permanently unrented by the Greenville Group. That's just strange. I mean, why would a company who wants to make a rental income deliberately keep a unit with its own bathroom vacant and empty? Why would the Greenville Group deliberately keep Unit 78, a unit that is approximately this size and has a private bathroom, unrented, vacant, and completely empty for 2 years? But they claim they want their money from my unit. But then they're keeping the unit directly next to it, which is the same size with a private bathroom, vacant and empty. That's just weird. I mean, that's almost like an unfair and deceptive business practice, right? Wouldn't that constitute an unfair and deceptive business practice? I think it would. And because they're permitting the former resident of Unit 78, a verifiable sex offender and psychopath who they keep telling me is their surveillance expert, to engage in a lot of surveillance-based aggression, disruption, harassment, contamination of the tap water, contamination of the shower water. She somehow manages to hack into my phones and delete or block emails that I'm trying to send about her activities and the activities of the Greenville Group to the courts or to law enforcement. None of those emails ever seem to manage to get sent, even when they don't have any large attachments. Then, the Greenville Group is basically claiming that I owe them rent for a unit that they're deliberately paying or sponsoring a career criminal to sabotage and disrupt. She is literally being sponsored or encouraged by the Greenville Group in their lack of action towards her behavioral issues to create deliberately manufactured dysfunction and unsafe conditions in this unit that prevent me from being able to safely be in this unit, to safely and functionally do what I need to do when I am in this unit, and to literally have a private space. If somebody is using surveillance devices in your living space, it's not a private space. It is a public forum, and it is basically a doxing mechanism by which you are being put in severe danger and aggressively harassed, stalked, observed, perved and creeped on, masturbated against. The psycho scum asswipe in 88 can't stop masturbating against that wall when I come out of my bathroom after having used that bathroom, either the toilet or the shower. And he likes to smack that wall when I remove any item of clothing. While standing near that wall, he likes to let me know that he's like 2 feet away while I'm trying to change out of my clothes. That is not a private or safe living space, folks. That is not a private or safe living space. And because the Greenville Group have admitted to using Irizarry as their surveillance expert, then they are admitting to creating unsafe and unlivable conditions in this unit that they are trying to charge me rent for while keeping Unit 78 directly behind this wall permanently vacant and empty for 2 years. So that is actually a fantastic lawsuit to file against them in court. Unfair and deceptive business practices, fraud, illegal surveillance, harassment. What else? A whole number of things that fall into that category right now can be charged in court against the Greenville Group in a separate lawsuit against them that I might just file in the next few days. How fun is that going to be? Okay, so let's fact check Greenville's accusations that I am responsible for all of the problems in this building. They have held me responsible for the cockroaches, for the mice, for the psychotic asswipe behavior of the sex offenders they choose to rent to, the violent aggression, the hate stalking, the blocking of the access doorways to this building. A career sex offender named Charles Thomas threatened to kill me last year, and they blamed me for his behavior, saying that I was provoking him. Okay, well, no. You can't provoke somebody who isn't going to do something they are not already naturally inclined to do, right? So if I screamed at, let's say, Barack Obama, he would probably just say, hey, have a nice day, and keep walking. He's not going to threaten to kill me and start running after me to try to beat me to a pulp, right? So you can't cause somebody to do something they wouldn't already normally do in that situation, right? So they're claiming that people are sleeping in the common areas, that people in the neighborhood have complained about the trash around the building, that people are not cleaning their units. I clean my unit every few days because every few days there's supposed to be an extermination or an inspection from inspectional services. I make videos about how I'm always cleaning my unit. I don't keep any trash in my unit because I don't want cockroaches literally running across my bed to get to the trash. So I do not keep any trash in my unit. Yeah. So what, is it addressed to all tenants? Yeah. So it's addressed to all tenants. Is my name all tenants? No, it's not. They're claiming that people are sleeping in the common areas. That's just weird. I'm not sure what that's all about, but that certainly wouldn't be me. What's the date of this? Yeah, it's dated today. Okay. I'm certainly not the one sleeping in the common areas or failing to clean my apartment. As you can see, I have a broom just outside of my door. I don't see anybody else using this broom. The wanker in 88 just masturbates all day. I've never seen him cleaning out his unit or sweeping it. I just swept my entire unit 3 times this week because the exterminator was supposed to show up Monday. Then he missed that appointment, so then he showed up 2 days ago. Yeah, see, there's the broom, and that's my recycling right there. It's all rinsed out plastic containers. So, case closed. I am not the one responsible for all of the bad conditions in this building. And that fire truck that just showed up and the screaming, shouting, perving, creeping, no life, low lifes out on the street have nothing to do with me.